Welcome to the first isolation challenge, part 1. Unfortunately, we find ourselves in a situation where we're in isolation, well, at least some of us. So I thought, seeing that my workshops were cancelled, I would have a go at just giving you some challenges just to keep you inspired and to keep us busy. So for this isolation challenge, you're going to have to find 3 items that you can use from your studio, craft room or table, wherever it is that you do your art. Use some old paper and card. Use a stencil with either texture paste or a medium gel, and I thought the topic would be quite good to use spring or wildlife. So for mine, I've gone and found some little bird images that I've sewn onto a piece of old pillowcase, so I thought I'd use one of those. I found some cardboard actually from the garage, and I've just given that one coat of gesso, and a little tiny piece of white lace that I found. The card is some bits that I had left over from an art journal that I was doing one of my junk journals, and then the paper that I've used has been ripped from an old dictionary, and then the stencil I've used, I honestly don't remember where I got the stencil from, but seeing that I was going to do a bird, I thought I'd do a backdrop of some trees. Now, to save a little bit of time, what I've gone and done is I've glued 2 pieces of my journal together, 2 white sheets, and then I've just gone and glued some of the paper on just to give us a bit of a start. I've just gone and used ordinary PVA glue. So the first thing I want to do is just now to cover the pages with some gesso. So just get my gesso and I put a little blob onto here, like so. Move those out of the way, don't want to get those dirty. That's it. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little tiny bit of colour to the gesso, just so it's just off white. And for this, I'm just using some of the acrylic, the cheap acrylic paint that you can buy, just to take it so it's not quite just white. It will have a little bit of colour to it as well. Just give that a little bit of a mix. There we go. And then I'm just going to get my brayer, and we're going to give that a little bit of a coat over the whole page, like so. Oops. Sorry for the noise. And I quite like the texture that the brayer is giving me. It's sort of lumps and bumps. There we go. I quite like that. Quite happy with that. And I think just to add just a little bit of extra to that, I might add a bit of darker acrylic paint and see what happens with that. Now then, yeah, we're okay with that. Okay, just going to put a little splodge here and there and just see what happens. I've got no plan for this at all. I'm just going to go for it and see what comes out. There we go. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. It's a bit of a background. Okay. So I'll give that a quick blast just to dry it off. Oops. As you can see, I'm well organised, as usual. Just give that a bit of drying time. Okay. So with that, I've now gone and used my old paper. I've just coloured up some gesso, and I won't waste that's on there. I will actually go and add that to another project. to scrape this into a little pot so I don't waste any. Or in actual fact, what I might do, I might just leave it there and add to it a bit later on. Okay. Because what I want to do now is use my stencil. So with the stencil, I think I'm going to use it about there. And this is more of a mask than an actual stencil. But what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to use some of my heavy body gel. So as you can see, my heavy body gel, which I managed to get from Art Fix Supplies. Kat is really, really good at supplying local people with some of the harder things to get from the internet. And she got me this in. I just love this gel. It is so useful. Now the other thing I've gone and got, I don't know whether you can use that, is a pastel. Again, it's from Renaissance, and again that's from the craft shop. And I'm just going to scratch some off into the gel like that and give that a bit of a mix. And you can see that this is now changing into a really dark, rather lush colour for the gel. And I'm going to be using this to stencil on for my trees. Perhaps didn't need as much gel as I've actually gone and used there. But I just want it as a background. Okay. So with the stencil, what I'm going to do is just give it a really good thick layer over my stencil, like so. And this is, I think, more really of a mask than a stencil. And it will also, because it is using the gel, it'll also give it a bit of a resist. Okay. And we're going to peel that off. Like so. So you can just see the trees that's there. Okay, and we're going to give that another blast. Now while I'm doing this, I'm just going to put us on pause. Okay, so we're now back. I had that extra little paint that you saw on the tile there, so I decided to use some of that on the background as well, save wasting it. So it's all nice and dry now, so we can carry on to the next stage. So what I thought I would do, I've got some nice background stamps, so I'm using some Versify. I'm going to use black, and I'm just going to dab some areas just to give it a little bit more textured, another layer onto my work, just here and there. And I thought possibly some script. I do love this stamp. And again, I don't always use a pad to do it, I just use it straight off my fingers, just to give again just another layer, something else to the background. And we've got the text showing as well through the paper. And then I thought perhaps just a couple of some circles. Now I know where this one's come from. This is the Indigo Blue Bubbles stamp, which again I quite like using. And again, it's just to give us another bit of a layer. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's just to give it that background colour. Okay, so I've now got my pieces of paper which I've just torn down the edges, I'm going to use some distressing inks. I'll just get my hands on them. Oh, there we go. Oops. Some distressing inks just to go over the edges, just to take away that white edge, like so. Okay, there's one. Two. And this one is the Distress ink, and it's Vintage Photo, which is one of the ones that I really like. I like using. Getting a bit dry now, but I've got just enough there to get us through this, I think. Okay. So we've just taken away those white edges, and I'm going to be using the, if I can just find my spatula. Ooh. The gel medium to adhere this to the page. Okay, so I'm going to pop that down the corner like so. And again, same on this one. Okay, I think I'll have that one come in down there. Now you can use PVA glue if you want to. It's just that I've got this close at hand, so this will do the job just fine. And I think I'll put that one across there, like so. So it's just giving it a little bit of greenery, so to speak. And then we're going to be looking at where we're going to put the birds. So I think my owl wants to go there, and you see I've got green there and green there, so that sort of matches. We've got the little wood pigeon possibly about there somewhere, and then I've got my pheasant, which I'm thinking of putting sort of there, so it's sort of like a triangle as such. And I've also got this piece of cardboard which I might put down there to sort of bring these in line. So just let me put some glue on this one. There we go. And in actual fact I might just give that a quick rub with the gel, just to keep them, trying to keep those colours in line with the pictures that I've got. Now then, I've got my little piece of lace. So again, what I think I might do is using this distress ink, just give that a little bit of distress, using the distress inks, like so. Okay, so we're nearly there. Just going to put some paste on there and have that coming down there. We've got that situated on there. We've got the bird, which I'll stick down like so. So we've got the pheasant. I think I'll frame the owl like that, I think. So I'll put the owl onto there. Like so. And then we've got the jay. I thought it was a wood pigeon, but I think it's a jay actually. Did have one in my garden not long back, last summer. And put that, quite fancy it over there actually, so I'll stick it, oops, stick it there, like so. And I think that will do. I'll find some wording that I can put on there at some stage or other, I think. See if we can get that to be a little closer for you. So I've gone and used 3 items that I found in my craft room. I've used some oil paper and some card. I've used a stencil and I've used gel medium, not the texture paste. And my topic is spring or wildlife. I'd love to see what you can have a go at. I'm sure yours is going to be far superior to mine. I've given myself a time span of about 20 minutes to get this completed. Look forward to seeing all your work on Facebook. Thanks very much for your time. Don't forget to subscribe to Crafted by Norma on YouTube, and you can follow me also on Instagram and Facebook. Thanks for your time. Keep well, keep safe, keep sanitised. Cheers, bye.